Hi, my name is Dave Wicks. I'm excited to be joining back onto the Hillcrest staff. It's been a journey in my life that Hillcrest has played a major role, and to return to it now is a great thing. Just quick background on myself. I'm a farm kid from Saskatchewan. I was born and raised in a little farm just near Radville, Saskatchewan. Spent a lot of my early adult life in Weyburn and then up to Regina, where I met Pat. We were married in 1973. And honestly, our life up until I was 25, living in Calgary, Pat and I weren't doing well. Our life was really given over to darkness, and God intervened. Praying parents, 1973, became a Christian, went to Aston College, moved back to Weyburn, did my first pastoral church plant thing in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, 1976. Both my kids were born there, and so from there we moved on to Edmonton. The big thing is praying parents. That's going to show up again in my talk about our future here. So my journey with Hillcrest. I moved here we actually live in Cairnport. We moved up here in 2012, and I became the lead pastor of Hillcrest Church, I think in the spring of 2012. And and we began this pastoral journey. Our mandate was pastor the church, help us find our next leader, and we had a great time. I learned so much about church leadership and governance and even how teams work together. I learned that here in Hillcrest, and what a wonderful congregation. I came to love you all. And then in 2015, I finished up as Pastor Steve took over leadership here. I began to travel with ACOP. My parish, in a sense, was southern Alberta, all of Saskatchewan, a little piece of northern Manitoba. And so I traveled from the Paw, Manitoba to Pincher Creek, Alberta, and all the places in between, made thousands of kilometers visiting churches and pastors, working with boards and pastors and churches, and as they search for pastors, all those good things. That was a great enjoyment. I loved it. I thought I'd finish my ministry career doing that, but in 2019, the need in Regina for an interim pastor became quite pressing and of great concern to many of us. And Wes sort of nudged me and said, why don't you take a hard look at that? Wes Mills, who's our president. And so I did, and I started there in the fall of 2019 and finished up in February of this year. And so that's kind of my journey. And I've taken on the role here of prayer pastor and care pastor for now, and then eventually be sliding into working with the small groups. And I guess the dreams that I have, coming here, it's interesting that I came here in 2012 with prayer very much in my heart. And I just started my own prayer journey in a major way. Here I am coming back around and all those years in between, and I'm focused on being the prayer pastor at Hillcrest. Amazing. I wouldn't have thought that or planned that. But working with what's already been done and the great job that Laura has done, she's a dear friend to me, and that we could work together in these weeks in between her now and her leaving, kind of picking up the things that she's been doing. And 3 new things that I want to be focusing on are parents and prayer, fathers praying for their kids, grandpas praying for their kids. I want to kind of drill into that a little bit more. Also looking at personal prayer, helping us all to have strong personal prayer lives. I know many already do. We can learn from each other, but we need to just be mentoring and encouraging personal prayer, which then contributes to corporate prayer. And the last thing that we want to be looking at, something that's just stirring here already in this church, is the thought of connecting prayer and evangelism. So, going forward, that's some of the dream. Happy to be back in the family of Hillcrest. God bless.